There are two main distinct roles that are mentioned in this video. One is the trustee, one is the beneficiary. Know that one of them serves as the guard in front of the gate for the one that's behind the gate. One that serves as a guard in front of the gate is a trustee. The one behind the gate is the beneficiary. In other words, there's a pass-through member of any given trust. And that pass-through member is a trustee. The status of that pass-through member will determine how this W8BEN is used. Just as much as one will have an LLC and its tax as a pass-through to its owners based on a percentage. The same thing applies with claiming beneficial interest through this form called W8BEN. The status of the trustee is highly fettered and highly dependent on how this W8BEN is used. Just as a caveat, the details are explained towards the middle and towards the end of this video, but it's extremely important as some might easily miss it, although emphasis was placed on it over and over. But nonetheless, just keep that in mind. W8BEN deals with the status of the beneficiary and why they're making the claim. But the beneficiary is effectively protected by the trustee. The status of the trustee is extremely important. The Form W8BEN and taxes. Form W8BEN and tax treaties. Many people have heard of this form, but a very good chance exists that they're clueless about how it works. Here's one of the ways that it works. The realistic aspect of it. Beyond saying or using that word that one is foreign and merely just filling out some form, just putting names and numbers and thinking magic is going to happen. Within this form W8BEN, regardless of what year it is, regardless of what revision, regardless of which omnibus number, there's always one section that tells you, well, claim of tax-free benefit. Certify that the beneficial owner is a resident of specific jurisdiction, which will be geographically outside of the business interest of the United States. And then it asks you for the specific article and paragraph which the beneficial owner meets to be eligible for the rate for withholding. Withholding exists only for the purpose of taxation. So now this will be given to anyone who basically wants to hand you monies and says, hey, we're acting as a withholding agent, which, by the way, they will have a specific EIN for that in order for them to do that. And we're acting as a withholding agent because there's a presumption that you might qualify for tax. Then you go, wait, there's a system that's in place that's perfected. It shows qualification for taxation through different means. And if the route that you're trying to come through is to say that the one benefiting from that monies that's been given to you, or whether it's through a settlement check, whether it's through a labor provided, whether it's through some type of service, whatever it is, you're not using the W9, if you're not using other forms, which you can in fact use to remove presumption of withholding or tax liability. Just putting that out there. But this W8BEN that a lot of people have been swinging on its balls. Say you want to use this. Many people don't know how to use this because they can fill it all out, okay, put the name, address, all that good stuff, right? But then you get here. See, if you read the IRS manuals that governs the W8BEN, you realize that the pivotal point of this whole thing is the part that requests for the tax treaty section. And remember, if you're certifying it, then it's an affidavit. So you don't want to lie. For one, if you don't have a trust instrument that shows everything that you're going to be putting on here, you're screwing yourself up. And two, you probably don't know what you're doing, and you should slow down. Slow down. So let's go into it. What is a tax treaty? And determines the core of the jurisdiction that your trust falls under. The reason why you're doing an express trust is so that you can delineate these things much easier, so that you can express things in a much more available and open template manner without it being fixed to the rudimentary aspect of other types of trusts like inter vivos trust or irrevocable or revocable trust. Do you know that the United States has specific countries that they have tax treaty with? So when people fill out this W8BEN form, that's what they're looking for here. And that's all they care for. They want to take their mundane everyday activities and just throw it in there and just do things arbitrarily. It's not how it works, because that's not how it's meant to work. You have to be true to what you're doing. Don't straddle the fence. Do it right. That is to say, the control test and the court test and safe harbor clause must be very clear on the face of the instrument before you even put any of this into consideration, before you even go into this thing called the W8BEN. If you're not doing that, you're missing a very vital and important step, because that step is what triggers your ability to do this. That step is what lessens the scrutiny and closes the door. The only incentive for the whole insurance thing, and the reason why any cop would be quick to want to tow your vehicle, is because they know most people are not first lien holders in their vehicle. They know most people have not paid up their vehicles and are still loaning it somewhere. Because of that, they can't be the first lien holder. They don't care about whether you're still paying a monthly bill on that car. They don't care. They don't care whether you not all that, there financially yet and you're still trying to figure things out, how it works in commerce. They don't care. All they know is they can issue municipal bonds, and those municipal bonds will be bought back. They call it the commercial term for that is a buyback, literally, which is just basically you're putting money back in your own pocket rather than putting it in the public, which will be go over that. We'll go over that in the future. And through establishing that municipal bond, which will be bought back through a buyback, a commission of that will be issued to whoever the municipal employee is who towed that vehicle and all that. And then they will do a 1099A and a non-UCC on that property after a contract, until we realize the way something is. It's like a pain in the body. A pain in the body exists as a signal, as an alarm to let you know, look, something is going on here that's not right. That's how these pen and paper games are in life, where we're realizing something isn't right here. And we're finally trying to figure out what is right after being so numb to the pain. And you start paying more attention to it. You start to learn your body that, wait, this is what's going on, this is how it's going on, this is the time of the day that occurs, this pain that occurs during this sequence. Well, you start to figure out how to work with it, how to make things better. Maybe it's that you eat less, maybe it's that you drink more water, maybe it's that you move around more. Same thing applies with this. You have to learn it. You have to learn the intricacies of it. The intricacies is the why and how. If you don't get the why and how, and someone just tells you the what, which is fill out a W8BEN, because, well, in the face of it, it shows foreign status of beneficial owner. And you say, well, the beneficial owner is my express trust, and I have an express trust because I named it an express trust without really knowing that an express trust just means you can go into the details of how you want to create it, which one of the ways you go into the details of how you create it. The entire 2-part 54-minute video is on the Patreon page. Take care and best of luck.